Euphoria star Sydney Sweeney broke down in tears on an emotional live stream.
Sydney Sweeney didn't whisper. She detonated. 1 minute, she was Hollywood's next darling, walking red carpets and locking in major leads. The next, erased, ghosted, blacklisted, without ever saying a word. But now, she's done staying silent, and what she's about to expose has the power to tear down more than just one squeaky clean image.
I would never actually do this, like ever. But
This isn't just about a broken contract or a missed premiere. It's about the dirty little machine behind your favorite stars, the contracts, the fake marriages, the silent punishments, and one very famous actor whose truth was never supposed to leave seat 14C. Sydney didn't leak anything, but someone thinks she could. And in Hollywood, that's enough to burn everything down. So what really happened on that plane? Why was Sydney blacklisted overnight? And why is everyone suddenly terrified of a girl who did nothing except listen? Let's rewind the tape, because the truth, it's messier than anyone expected.
I think it's really important for people to see how words actually affect people, because it's really fucked up.
April 15th, 2025. Sydney Sweeney boards a flight from Paris to New York thinking she's on top of the world. She just killed it at the Glass Chapel press event. The critics were eating it up. Netflix was buzzing. Even Ryan Reynolds, the supposed mastermind behind the project, was riding high on praise. But mid-flight, everything cracks. 2 rows up, Ryan Reynolds is on a call. Not a whisper, not a coded message, a full-blown confessional on speaker. Loud enough for the cabin to catch every word. I was never really her husband. I was the image. It was a contract. Boom. The perfect Pinterest marriage? Fake? Blake Lively? A brand piece. And Ryan Reynolds? Just another actor playing a role off screen too.
Your life changes overnight. Why is this happening?
Sydney doesn't react. She doesn't even flinch. But someone hears. And someone talks. By the time the plane lands, her life has already changed. She just doesn't know it yet. Sydney touches down in New York expecting headlines, offers, and champagne flutes. Instead, radio silence. Her inbox is empty. Directors stop responding. Her agent shrugs. No one says it, but something's off. And that off quickly turns into industry code for do not touch. Within 48 hours, 3 projects she was attached to suddenly shift direction. A legal drama disappears without a word. A Dior campaign goes into creative restructuring. Sydney's face is pulled from branding materials that were already edited and approved. One leaked Slack message from inside Dior says it all. Pull her visibility. No further follow-up. There's no public scandal. No smoking gun. Just whispered warnings at power lunches and studio execs labeling her a discretion risk. Translation? She heard something she shouldn't have. And Hollywood doesn't need her to talk. It just needs her to disappear.
Ryan Reynolds confessing to Blake Lively being his beard was definitely not on my bingo card.
Fast forward to April 19th. It's premiere night for Glass Chapel. Sydney should be front and center, glittering on the red carpet next to Ryan Reynolds, but she never shows. Not because she was late, not because of a scheduling conflict. No, she was blocked. Her team received the invite, but it wasn't a press pass. It was a guest wristband. Side door entry, no cameras, no interviews, no name on the call sheet. They told her it was a logistical shift, that Ryan's arrival time changed, that media coverage had been streamlined. But her name was gone, her face scrubbed from the materials, and when the press asked, no answers. Sydney skipped the event. The dress stayed zipped, the glam team packed up, and Ryan Reynolds smiled solo, every headline praising his big night. Sydney, the co-lead, was already written out of the story, like she had never been part of it at all. Then came the twist no one saw coming. The day after the premiere, Blake Lively posted a glossy, high-res image of her and Ryan posing together at the event. One problem, she wasn't even there. The photo was traced back to a completely different shoot, weeks earlier in Los Angeles. But the damage was done. Entertainment sites picked it up within hours. Blake supports Ryan, the headlines blared. Hollywood's power couple stronger than ever. And Sydney erased. Again. Meanwhile, a gossip account leaked a guest list. Sydney was never forgotten. She was removed. A PR assistant posted a now-deleted TikTok. Imagine sculpting the perfect metallic eye look for 4 hours. only for your actress to get ghosted by her own movie. The kicker? One producer was overheard saying, "We don't need Blake's enemies on this couch." No names were dropped, but everyone knew exactly who they meant. 3 days later, the silence was broken, behind closed doors. Sydney joins a video call with Netflix's legal team, her agent, and a rep from Blake Lively's PR firm. The message? Sign this NDA. Take the money, walk away quietly. The gag order would last 18 months. She'd be banned from discussing anything. The flight, the casting decisions, the photos, the premiere, even Blake Lively's name. Sydney sat in silence. Then she asked a single question. Did Blake send this? The PR rep smiled. Didn't confirm, didn't deny, just smiled. Sydney closed the laptop. Hours later, her name was deleted from all promotional materials. Press kits were stripped, social captions edited, posters reprinted, interviews canceled. One leaked memo read, "Like a hit list, instability confirmed through non-engagement pattern." In short, she refused to play along. So they erased her. They thought fans wouldn't notice. They were wrong. By the next morning, X, was on fire. The hashtag #sign she didn't sign hit 2 million mentions in a day. Old footage of Sydney with Ryan flooded timelines. Side-by-sides showed how she'd been edited out, replaced, cropped. A gossip account hinted at a secret clause. A verified comment from Blake Lively's own stylist, simply LOL, was quickly deleted. But the screenshots were eternal. Then came the biggest leak yet, an image of Sydney having lunch with Reese Witherspoon in Beverly Hills. No team, no cameras, just two women deep in conversation. Insiders whispered one thing: the Witherspoon pivot, Apple TV Plus, new series, Nicole Kidman producing, Reese directing, Sydney starring, no contracts confirmed, no quotes, just murmurs, but the kind that make executives sweat. Sydney wasn't folding, she was pivoting, and she had Hollywood royalty in her corner. And while Sydney regrouped, Ryan Reynolds was imploding. Internal calls from his next film studio revealed 2 major investors had pulled out. Their reason? Perception shift. Sydney fallout is sticky in key markets. He hadn't posted in 3 days, a digital eternity for someone who built his brand on memes. A fan called him out with an old tweet. Where's this energy now? Blake Lively liked it. Another PR transcript leaked. When asked if he could re-engage the audience, Ryan reportedly said, "This wasn't my play." One rep fired back, "Then maybe you should have kept your mouth shut on that flight." By April 29th, Glass Chapel was out of Netflix's top 10. No final press push, no behind-the-scenes content, just silence. The girl they tried to erase was now the only one anyone wanted to hear from. And now, Sydney Sweeney is finally ready to talk. No filters, no lawyers, no scripted PR statements, just the raw, uncut version of everything they tried to bury. In a partnership with Ashtam, a network known for burning bridges with style, Sydney announced her tell-all interview. She's naming names, dropping dates, and bringing receipts, call logs, contracts, and behind-the-scenes documentation that proves this wasn't some dramatic misunderstanding. It was a calculated hit, and she's not letting it go. Studios are scrambling. Blake Lively's team has gone quiet, Ryan Reynolds has yet to respond, but the damage is already done. Because the truth? It wasn't about what Sydney did, it was about what she heard, and what she refused to sign. Sydney didn't just survive, she learned the rules, and now she's rewriting the game. So buckle up, because next week, the silence ends. And when it does, Hollywood won't be able to hide behind curated smiles and Photoshop perfection anymore.